is a blur from the middle of the map, and today we're going to be talking about Idris Elba. Ashley is not going to be playing James Bond, and why for the 007 franchise. So let's get right into it. So Idris Elba was interviewed recently about being James Bond. And Idris Elba let it be known. He said, no, I am not the next James Bond, all right? I'm not going to do the role. And his reasonings behind it make a lot of sense. So the main thing that he brought up is that something that was like very interesting, but it made a lot of sense, is that his character, just imagine if Idris Elba said, yes, I'll take the role for MGM and Amazon, that he probably wouldn't be well received market-wise, meaning that they probably wouldn't have made money off tickets. They wouldn't have made money in the box office because he's an African-American James Bond working for M16. Because if you remember, before this, James Bond is known to be white in all the movies, all right? There have been 8 different Bonds, of course, right? But they've all been white actors for the James Bond franchise. So, I could understand why Idris is like, nah. And on top of that, probably the pressure, being the first, right? He would have been, if he would have got the role, he would have been the first black James Bond for a franchise that's known to have white actors to play James Bond for a spy espionage type of movie franchise, right? And, maybe he didn't want those pressures, the hate, and all this stuff, because a lot of people were championing him, all right? I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm going to keep the buck and the bean with you guys. They wanted to see Idris Elba to be the next James Bond. He would have been the 9th one at that if he would have actually said, yeah, I'll take the role. But he said, no, I do not want the role. Now, the next thing makes a lot of sense, too, when I think about it, that he was afraid that they would try to make James Bond woke for a movie. You know what? They probably would have. I'm not going to lie to you guys. There's some movies they're like, yeah, he would have been woke James Bond if they would have actually included him in the actual movie. And then the other reason is too, and I really like Idris Elba's perspective on this, or actual take on this, is just keep it the way it is. Why change, right? Say, for instance, hey, I want to bring a black James Bond in. He's like, no, keep it the way it was. People will enjoy it probably that way versus me being the first black James Bond, right? That's probably what it is. He's like, look, they've done such a great job with Bond, with over 8 different Bond characters. Why change the formula now when it comes to race swapping? Let me keep it a buck with y'all, right? So, me personally, I think Idris had potential. Let's be real, right? I think he would have did a great job playing the role because he does action stuff. He does, some spy stuff too, I think, to some degree, right? I think it would have been an interesting choice, of course, right? But like he said, I don't think it would have been well received by just people in general, right? Sometimes actors miss out on roles and they realize that this is not the role that I want to play. I know a lot of fans from the Bond franchise really had a real interest in him, of course, and I'm not saying everybody, because I know there's some people that didn't want to see him as Bond. But I guess turning down the role was probably for the best, of course. Let's be real, because at the end of the day, it probably would have been something where they would have been comparing him. He ain't like the white counterparts Bond, right? They made him they made him into a black man. Why is that type of thing, right? I guess in the end, he's made his decision. He doesn't want to be James Bond. I guess for some people, they're going to be disappointed by it. Some people will understand why, of course, but it is the hardest working blur on YouTube, guys. You tell me in the comments, is Idris Elba right for turning down the role for the next James Bond movie franchise. You tell me in the comments, guys. It is the hardest working blerd on YouTube, guys. While you guys are here, hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Hit the comments to let me know how you felt about the video, because I got people that are actually a part of the channel, but you guys are quiet. I like to see the comments. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind interacting with people. This is what my channel's about. Don't worry, I'm not one of those people where it's like, oh, he's got these weird, crazy comments. Long as you're respectful, of course. Also, hit the share button so I can get out in that YouTube algorithm right along with the actual comments and likes, because those do matter, of course. And also, I'm trying to still reach the 3,000, 4,000 watch hours on the channel. Go check out videos you missed out on. But it is the hardest working blerd on YouTube, guys. Thank you so much for watching, legends, and I am out.